Hello everybody and welcome to Liam's Library. We're going to stick with the theme that we've been sticking to, reading from Full Dark, No Stars. Keeping it real dark, no stars, and full of revenge and vengeance. The third story in this collection is called Fair Extension. Fair Extension by Stephen King, and it's not a novella, it is a short story. Excuse me. Now, this was my favourite when I first read the book, because it's really short, it's really sweet, and it's not as horrible as the first, second, and fourth stories in this book. It's still very horrible, don't get me wrong. It still is a dark, dark fucking look into the human condition. Now, Fair Extension is a short story about a man, excuse me, who has cancer. He lives in Derry, Stephen King's famous town of Derry, Maine. Fiction town, of course, which is really just Bangor, because that's where he lives. It's about a man with cancer, and we meet him as he's driving in his car, and the sun's going down, and he likes to drive past the extension next to the airport. It's a nice drive, and the thing is, when he pulls over and throws up because of like the cancer treatment and stuff, there's nobody there to see him, and it's kind of the only time he gets to sort of be to himself while he's being so sick, because he's dying. He's very nearly terminal. The chemo is just, he's despising all the stuff that his doctor tells him, he's gonna fucking die. His life is fucking pretty terrible. He's gonna fucking die. He's got cancer. As he's driving along, he's thinking about this. He's thinking about how much he throws up. He's thinking about how much he hates his doctor. He's thinking about how good his wife is because she's putting up with it and she's trying to keep a good face on it. So me telling you it's not that dark, it is quite dark straight away. This is how it starts. But there's this like a gravelly sort of sandy area next to the turnpike that goes near the extension, near the airport. Now, every now and then, usually in springtime, someone will set up some kind of stall there to sell something. Fruit, vegetables, whatever. On this particular day, it's just at the end of summer. The sun is going down and it's just casting this weird sort of sunset light all over everything. And our main character, he happens to notice that there's somebody set up there with an umbrella and a desk. And there's a sign, you can't read it yet. So when our main character pulls up, he gets closer and gets out his car. He thinks, fuck it, I'll go have a look. Walks up and there's a sign that says Fair Extension, just next to the guy's desk. And it's this squat little, sort of short little balding old guy, and he's just sitting there with a big smile on his face. He goes, hello. And he's like, g'day mate, what are you selling? It's like, I sell a bit of this, I sell a bit of that. I sell extensions, as a matter of fact. He's like, yeah, like what? Yeah, but this, our main character's a bit confused because there's nothing on this guy's desk. You know what I mean? It's just a sign that says Fair Extension. But this guy's jovial. He's a very happy sort of a guy, and he's like, okay, cool. It's like, I don't know how good you're going to do it. I can't see anything for sale here. And he's like, no, I sell extensions. If you've got a small dick, I'll sell a dick extension. If you've got if you want this, I'll sell this extension. It's actually, and he's really funny. So this whole intro is actually like pretty clever, pretty funny. They have this banter back and forth, and then all of a sudden, we get supernatural. Our old guy next to the bridge starts talking about life extensions. He's like, I know what you need. You need to live a bit longer. I can help you with that. Shit, we can help you with that. We can do anything for anyone. I've been selling things for a long, long time. And it's like, okay. The guy's name is Mr. Elvid, which is kind of clumsy. It's not clumsy. That's the whole point. This story is fun, even though it's very dark. So it's like Mr. Elvid, just, even the main character has already worked those letters around and it's devil, you know what I mean? And this guy is the devil. And it doesn't really sugarcoat any of that. He is the devil and he's selling things. What for? For your soul, of course. But it's not. It's more for humor. So he's like, what? So like you're the devil and like you're gonna. He's like, yeah, I'll give you an extra 5 to 10 years on your life. Shit, it might be 15, it might be 20. You never know how these things work out, but it'll definitely be an extension. He's like, how do you even know I've got cancer? He's like, man, you can't be a good salesman without knowing, stuff about your customers. Reminiscent of Leyland Gort from Stephen King, but he wasn't the devil. This guy is the devil, and He's like, what do I have to do? Sell you my soul? And he's like, human souls are dirty and disgusting. What the fuck would I want with them? No, I'm more interested in just helping my fellow person, you know? So he's like, okay, you know, I could use a life extension, you know, but thinking this is just bullshit. And he's humoring him. Then all of a sudden, like, this guy starts to get annoyed with this fucking cancer patient guy humoring him. And he starts to just get taller. And his smile gets bigger. And he just seems to have more teeth in his mouth. And the sun just seems way too bright. And he's like, quiet, you foolish man. Do you want a fucking extension or not? I can do it, but don't fucking keep playing games with me. And this guy's like, okay. You know, gets sort of tricked into having this conversation with the devil. And he's like, I can indeed give you another 15, 20 years. Fuck, it might even be 25. You never know how these things work out. And he's like, okay, well, what do I have to do? Like, you know, do I have to sign something? He's like, no. You just have to tell me a name. Tell me a name. And everything that I'm taking from you, I have to give to someone else. But it can't be a stranger. It's got to be someone you know. He's like, okay, straight away he just says this name. The devil's like, well, who's that? Who's that to you? He's like, my best friend since grade school. And the devil cracks up fucking laughing. Like, that's the funniest fucking knee slapper he's heard all fucking day. Your best friend since grade school. Well, that's fucking great. Why? It's like, and then our main character says, because I helped him through high school. He was getting bad grades. I passed tests for him. He stole my girlfriend off me in fucking sophomore year. His dad's rich and I wasn't. I had to work for everything. He just gets everything. His wife is gorgeous. His 2 kids are gorgeous and they both are successful. My kids are this, my kids are that. Like, his best friend has everything that he always wanted, but he's always just put up with his best friend's shit. And just always taken the shit from the side of the plate of his best friend. So he gives him the name. And the devil's like, well, we're all done, you know, we're all done here. I recommend going and check in with your doctor. You know, he's like, well, what else? He's like, no, we're done. Like, you've done your part. So a couple of weeks later, he makes a fucking test to go see his doctor. And the tumor, the cancer is shrinking. So much so that never in any medical book has this kind of terminal lung cancer ever shrunk or ever gone into something that's not even remission, but like an actual miracle. The doctors don't know what to say. They convince him that this is only temporary and he better keep up with his chemo, but he knows the deal he made. He's like, nah, fuck that. I won't be back, doctor, and fuck you and your chemo. And so he takes off. But then from 2000 and I think it's 2005 to 2010, this story takes place. And it's funny, it gives us dates when stuff is happening with him, and it gives us dates when stuff is happening to celebrities. So it'll be like 2000 and something, Chris Brown beat up his girlfriend. That was the same year that our main guy here got a promotion at his thing, at his law firm. Got his son made a whole like $1 million off some fucking internet thing. And this guy who he gave his name, like his best friend since grade school, who's supposed to be getting the cancer, he doesn't get the cancer. He just gets all the bad luck. Like over the next 5 years, his son has a brain aneurysm and he's in a wheelchair and he's just fucked. He's just makes noises and screams and has to shit his pants. And he's going to be like that till he's an old man now. And he used to be like, you know, the high school jock, you know, the big one with like the flash car and the women. And his other daughter, like she commits suicide and his wife gets sick, not cancer, but something. And then there's a car accident. And it's going over the years while our main character's life is just getting so much better. The person, you know, his best friend since grade school, the one he decided to curse, is so much worse. You know what I mean? You know, you greed, cancer, car accident, suicide, alcoholism. Like, it's a dark fucking story. It is such a dark story. And there is no lesson to learn from it. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Let's just stop right there because that's the story. You're watching this guy, his whole fucking life is dying and fucking up around him as the years go by. And now he's just this alcoholic with a grizzly beard that sits in this house, lost most of his money. He even got like audited and fucking his business was shut down. And his son sits there in his wheelchair just screaming and making noises, and he can't even afford the lady that comes and changes his nappies anymore, and he sits there with a beard and just drinks, and he's fucked. While we watch our main character, who we met with cancer, just his life gets better and better and better. And there's a bit at the end, and I have to say this bit at the end because it's what made me love the story. So, spoiler, the very end, our main character, who's now fantastic and healthy, and his wife, and they're just in their new flash house, and they're sitting outside and they're looking at the stars. And she's saying like, oh, like, could you imagine like how bad has the last 5 years been for your old friend, you know? Like, how bad is it? And our main character's like, don't worry about that, you know. Things come and go, you know what I mean? People get it good and then people get it bad, you know. It'll level itself out. But he knows, deep he knows, he did it and he's happy to be alive. He loves his life extension and he doesn't give a fuck about his friend. Not at all. He's not a likable guy. Like, this is not a likable story. And he's sitting there and he's like, yeah, but he knows that. He's trying to just tell his wife, it's all good. He'll get better, knowing he won't. Knowing they'll be great and his friend will be fucked forever. And then all of a sudden his wife points out a shooting star, or like when Venus comes out or Mars comes out, and you can see it really bright in the sky. She's like, look, quick, make a wish. So, oh, well, we don't need to make a wish. Like, we already have everything. So he's like, our main character looks up at the star or whatever, and he goes, and he instantly wishes for more. So even though he's got everything, it ends on the most greediest last sentence. Like, he's like, you know what, and I want more. I want it all. Fuck everyone. And it's greed, man. But it works out fine for him. That's a dark short story. There's no closure. There's no comeuppance. Fucking, he got what he wanted, and you know, but he still wanted more. The end. Fucking brilliant. So that's Fair Extension. Tune in next week. We're probably gonna finish it. We're probably gonna do the last story in Full Dark No Stars. So tune in for that. Read some good books. Watch some even better fucking movies. Don't take any shit from anyone. See ya.